I'm just here sitting here thinking. There are four stages of a heretic that I call it. Four stages of a heretic. In the beginning, you embrace something and you love it. Then you reject it and you hate it. Then you study it and you understand it. Then after you understand it, you analyze it and you pity it. That's the stages that I went through with white supremacy for a long time, for most of my life. And I've gotten to the stage, I haven't quite gotten to the stage with white supremacy where I pity it. I've gotten to the stage where I understand it and I'm pragmatic about it. But I'm starting to get to that stage as far as black women are concerned, especially the gender war, as we call it right now. For a long, long time, since I was a teenager, when you're a teenager, you love them and you embrace them. I got into my late 20s and started to dislike them, reject them even as far as women is concerned. I know I went through that stage where I wanted to reject them. Then I went through that stage in my 30s because I had daughters that I had to understand them. And now in this advanced stage of my life, I've understood them and I've analyzed them, and I'm starting to pity them. Really, I'm starting to pity black women, even though this is a IBMOR channel and it's there for men so that men can understand basically themselves and women and understand women. I don't expect them to get to the stage where I'm at, where I pity women. And pity is not the same thing as feeling sorry for women, for black women. There was this thing going around this channel about black women going their own way. BWGTOW, as they like to call it, which is just a ripoff of MGTOW, but that being as it may, and it's almost hilarious when you listen to Nicole Little and her rants about black men. And in a flash, you have that flashback of the stages that you went through as a heretic about the sex roles and women. And in the flash, I went through all four stages. And I was angry, when I first heard it, and the language and whatnot. Well, the language didn't bother me, but the silliness of of it that frustrated me. I was angry about it. The silliness of her points, and then understanding what she's actually saying, which is basically everything that men have complained about. Now, how she reverses it and makes it a strength, makes the complaints a strength, and it seems like it's their own idea. Well, that's what women do, but that frustrates you. And then I understand that what the frustrations that they're going through and the reasons they're going through, because they don't understand themselves. And then I went into the pity phase, where I pity black women, maybe women in general, but black women in particular, that they don't understand themselves and they project outward. And it may just be that they don't have the ability for self-reflection. I don't know. Because all human beings have the ability to reflect on their life, on their situation, on things like that. But it's a very rare female that has self-reflection. Even the best of our females, our female sages, have weak attempts at self-reflection. So maybe it is not necessarily innate in a female, and especially a black female, because I don't know. Maybe it's been bred out of them. I don't know. But to continue about these black women going their own way, uh, pro-black women, swirlers, and all that. The same thing keeps coming back to the same way over and over and over again. They reflect on the relationships they have with others outside themselves, with their children, with the world, with their men. But I don't think I've ever heard on any channel or necessarily any book that really gets deep into the self-reflection of a woman relating to herself, a deep understanding of women relating to themselves. That's the difference between black women going their own way and the men going their own way, philosophies or movements, whatever or phenomena for a lack of a better term. Men going their own way, and even IBMOR, which is an offshoot, is about not your relationship to the woman, but your relationship to yourselves and your role in this paradigm or this matrix, as we call it. It's not the red pill rage. It's not how could that woman do that to me. The red pill rage is about how could I be so stupid as to fall for what I've been taught, and how can I reflect upon myself to change myself internally so that I can be happy. Those are the steps that MGTOW leads men to. And IBMOR is basically trying to follow the same path. The first letter of I, introspective, is the first letter of IBMOR. Introspective black men of reform. We're going inside and reflecting. We're trying to change ourselves, reflecting on the relationship that we have with ourselves and our role in this matrix, in this world, in this paradigm that we exist in. We talk about black women. Sure we do. And sometimes we talk harshly about black women. But the thing is, we're not seeking to just talk about black women and put black women down. We're talking about black women in a way so that we can understand ourselves and our role in it and our connection to it. What is it? What is it in this situation that we didn't see, that we didn't notice, or we didn't understand? For the most part, we talk about women because we're not necessarily blaming women. We're trying to figure out our role in it. So to figure out our role in our own destruction or our own distress, we have to separate ourselves, and we can't do that without doing what? Organize and found who did what and why, which is something women don't understand or women don't do. But MGTOW and IBMOR, men have figured out or do figure out, and the reason they've come to this, and that it doesn't matter what color the woman is. It doesn't matter what race the woman is. It doesn't matter where she came from. What matters is changing ourselves first. I don't see that counterpart on the other side, where women talk about changing themselves first or understanding why they've done what they've done. I put that clip in one of my videos that comes from the Matrix when the Oracle, a female, sat down with Neo, and he says, how can I make a choice? And she says, you're not here to make a choice. You're here because you've already made the choice. You're here because you want to know why you made it. You want to understand yourself, or you want to reflect upon yourself to understand why you made choices. why you did certain things. Why do you put yourself in certain positions? Some of those things are your fault. Some of those things aren't. But to deconstruct the whys so that you can take the pieces and make a better future. Defuse those bombs that are going off in your head. This is what my channel is about. This is what I hope IBMOR is about. And I pity the other side of the so-called gender war because I don't see the same thing. Now, Nicole Little, talking about her platform, she talks about doing the right things, but the thing is, she's doing the right things for the wrong reasons. The reasons that she gives for black women going their own way is number one, be celibate or date interracially, date outside your race, to free yourself of black men. But without understanding yourself, what are you doing? You're carrying the problem over into another environment. If your body is toxic in a toxic environment, and you go to a clean environment, or what you think is a clean environment, and your body's still toxic, what do you think you're going to do to that clean environment? You're going to carry the toxins with you. Same thing with the swirlers. A lot of the swirlers get mad at me or get mad at my channel because I point out the fault in their thinking. You're thinking that you're going to jump to another environment and things will be a lot better. It's hit and miss. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But the thing is, what are you still carrying with you to that new environment? You're still carrying your old pathology, your old way of thinking, because you haven't deconstructed it. You haven't stopped and reflected upon yourself. Because you don't even know why you did the stupid shit you did in the first place. I can tell you one thing about black men. IBMORs, MGTOWs, what have you. We have no love for the Pookie and Ray Rays or the Johnny Appleseeds. You will never, ever hear men on this channel, MGTOW channel, or IBMOR channels give love and praise for the Johnny Appleseeds. The ones that have 5 and 6 baby mamas and have 11 and 12, 20 kids that they can't raise. In fact, you won't even hear the black men that have all those children by different mothers defend themselves. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to see us pity that guy. It's not going to happen because we know the damage that can be done. Now, can we stop this dude from doing it? It's a free country. On the other hand, I don't see a counterpart. I do not see a counterpart. I don't see black women getting on their sisters that do stupid shit with their wombs. I don't see black women getting in, doing the work, and finding out why black women do what they do. I hear a lot of mysticism and spirituality and spiritual mumbo jumbo, which basically that is what it is. A lot of the stuff that you listen to from these black women, the women that I heard, the women that you follow, I understand that a lot of women don't really concern themselves with logic. But the thing is, to learn something, to learn to do something, you got to have some logic in there someplace. The person that you listen to, that you follow, that you subscribe to, that you listen to, has got to have some logic. They have to have some lessons. They got to have something that you can build upon to make your life better, not just you emotionally feel better. And they don't have anything. Every time I listen to it, it's emotional garbage. The closest person that I can see and She only does it half the time as crystalline kerosene. I'll give her that much. I will give her that much. When she can come out of that emotional shell, she will at least give you some kind of logic. It's not deep. It doesn't pierce the core. And a lot of the other chicks talking about religion and mysticism. I'm a Gnostic. Okay? I'm a black Gnostic. I deal in mysticism. I deal in religion. Well, the thing is, it doesn't mean shit if you don't ground it in some kind of logic. It's not going to do anything. If you can't bring the mystical, metaphysical understanding down to the practical level, it doesn't mean shit. You use the mystical and you use the metaphysical to explain a physical phenomena. Give a deeper understanding to it. The mundane still has to be there. The mundane is at the top level, the surface level. Everything has to have a surface. Everything has to have a purpose, a practical situation. And then you go deeper into the layers so that you can understand why the choice is made. You have to make a choice. Practically, the choice has to be made. But the thing is, you want to know why you make choices so that you can make better ones. I don't see that on the female side. I don't see that on the swirlers. I put up videos so that you get a deeper understanding of yourself. So that you don't jump into something just because somebody said to do it. And you don't mislead people. Interracial dating is not for the weak and not for the timid, because there are going to be some problems. And to lead women, black women especially, that aren't ready for it into the situation is leading lambs to slaughter. You have to give them some direction about how to do it. You have to give them the pluses and minuses. You have to be honest about it. And women aren't honest about it. It's emotional. Nobody gives a shit about your hatred of black men. Using your hatred of black men to jump on the other side and make a stupid decision doesn't make sense, especially without understanding why you did the stupid shit in the first place. I grew up with being bused to the other side of town with very well-to-do black and white kids. Black males were dating white girls all around me. I mean, it wasn't, the percentage wasn't like 50-50, but there was a good percentage of black women, of black men and black women dating people from the other race. Okay. There's a reason that I didn't do it, because I understand what it's like to be in a white community, and I understand what's over there. And I understand what it's like to be the only one in a sea of white people. So I made a conscious decision not to be over there. But let me get back to on track. The reason that I pity black women, and this is the major part, is because there is no one that will talk about it, that will discuss it, that will get deep into their core so they can understand why they do what they do. It took me a long time to understand why they do what they do. And I don't think I should be the one to tell black women about themselves, or get into the understanding of a black woman from a black woman's perspective, because I'm not a woman. Now, I understand them, but I only understand them as far as it can go, because I've never been a girl. I've never been a female. I've never wanted to be a female. So I've never thought it my place to teach black women about themselves. I always thought it was the place of a black woman to do that, because guess what? She's a black woman. But there's such a lack of it There's no woman over there to actually do it. And I keep wondering, how come I keep being asked to write something, to do something for black women so that black women can understand themselves? And it boggles my mind. It's like, how come you can't do it because you're a woman? And anything I do as far as helping black women understand themselves would be out of pity. It's hard enough teaching black men. It's hard enough teaching black men about themselves and get them deeply understanding themselves. I'm not talking about the surface level, especially with the emotional fighting going back and forth, which helps no one, which is something I don't understand. One thing that boggles my mind: who gives a fuck about somebody talking shit about you if it's true? If it's true. If it's not true, that's one thing. But if it's true, if the shit is true, then you shouldn't be over on black men's channels talking shit. You should be teaching your black girls not to fall into the trap. You should be teaching black girls to respect their bodies. You should be teaching black girls not to have babies out of wedlock. You should be poo-pooing black women fighting each other on camera. You should be breaking down the reasons why you fall for that thug or that alpha male or whatever, and you guys are all sleeping with the same guy, because that's a lack of understanding of self. And I'm talking about self on a deep level, not this bullshit mystical stuff that's been passed around by who Brooklyn Blue or Simone 5-6, shit that could be dismantled in about 10 seconds. Simone 5-6 made a video about educated black women. She made 3 or 4. I dismantled that in about 10 minutes. Completely dismantled it in about 10 minutes because it wasn't true. Because she doesn't have any understanding of herself or the black community. And the thing is, you guys are too lazy to even investigate it yourself. You guys scour the comment sections of a video rather than picking up a fucking book and finding out for your fucking self, which is fucking lazy. You're the most educated black people on the planet, but you're too fucking lazy to pick up a goddamn book. You're too fucking intellectually dishonest to call a fucking spade a spade. That's how come you get all up in your feelings and fucking butthurt when shit goes wrong or when somebody says something about you. How come I can tell? I've done this so many times. It's absolutely ridiculous. How can I, a black man, tell a freaking woman about her problem in 5 minutes? To the point that she can understand it. And I'm a man. That's ridiculous. I shouldn't be able to do that. There should be 10 million women that could do it better. How come there isn't? I'm looking for, there's a few. There's a very few that can actually do it. There should be thousands of them. There should be at least one black woman, at least one. I know that there's one. I can't mention her name. There should be at least one black woman on YouTube that's not afraid to stand up and tell the truth and tell women what they need to hear. And be diligent enough and well-read enough to explain to her what the problem is and why you keep doing what you do. My black IBMORs, they know. Because the ones that listen to me and follow me, they understand why you do what you do. And they understand it better and better every day. I haven't got them to the point where they've mastered it, but they understand. And my black IBMORs are less angry. Because it's not that you're being evil, you're being a woman. And all the other stuff that's coming out of your mouth is just you being a woman. A lot of stuff I get on my channel is this tit for tat shit. Instead of looking at the goddamn video, looking at what the video is trying to fucking tell you, internalizing the message and doing some reflection. Because it's a lesson. It's not a debate. Like John Henry Clark said a long time ago, and I quote, "I only debate equals. All others I teach." When I see women coming on my page, first thing I ask, where's your work? If you have no work, you're not an equal. Shut up, look at the lesson, and learn. Because if you knew it, you wouldn't be on my page arguing with me. The people that know something aren't on my page arguing with me. They might bring up a point that I wasn't in the video, that hadn't been highlighted, or something I wasn't aware of. I learn from people too. Very good IBMOR. Well, he's not an IBMOR, but he follows me. Kitty Jones. I learned something from him. I may have even debated him at one particular time, but the thing is, I learned something from him because he's an equal. It's an exchange. We're not getting that from black women. We want an exchange, not this finger pointing. Because at the end of the day, the only thing you're doing is poking your finger in your own eye because you're not getting it. If you had it and you got it, you wouldn't be here on my fucking channel spewing bullshit. The last video I did about Winch, written by a black woman. The reason the black woman wrote it, because she wanted to understand what is it about herself, or how she would feel if she was put in that situation of being a slave and have her slave master as a lover. I put it up to show that how these patterns are still alive within us today. The patterns, cultural patterns, are still there. And just as a number of my subbies pointed out, my IBMORs pointed out, it's still alive today as far as the cuckolding, where the black bull screws white women in front of the master or the woman's husband. These cultural patterns are still alive today, just like colorism, just like the out of wedlock births, just like the matrifocal patterns that are still alive today in our families. I was just talking to my neighbor. He was talking about why it's better to educate the girls over the boys. Something that we talked about in the Moynihan report. That's 50 years old, and he was reading books that were older than the report. So we're talking about almost 100 years that this pattern has been going on. It's not to fucking point fingers. It's to understand the choices that we make. Nobody gives a shit if you sleep with a white man. What black men do give a shit about is that you sleep with a white man and come back on a IBMOR channel and talk shit. What are you doing here? Why does it concern you? You should be out teaching other women how to swirl. If swirling is so great, if swirling is so good and so great, every woman in the channel talking about swirling should be giving a lesson, just like pickup artists do, on how to go out and get yourself a decent white man, how to screen for him. At least Kara's halfway does that. She doesn't do it too well, but at least she halfway does that. Hell, I could probably teach you better about how to get a white man than she can. Because it's really not that fucking hard. There's two ways to do it. Get them while you're in school. Find you a bright kid, a bright nerd. Get him while he's in school. Take those STEM classes where those really, really bright white boys are that are kind of goofy. And the other one is join the military. Those are the two best ways, and white women will tell you that the two best ways to get you a good white beta provider male is those two ways. How many women are telling you that? Chrissy even said it's proximity. She can tell you because she's done it. It's not that hard. It's proximity. Hannibal Lecter said a long time ago, you covet what you see every day. You covet what you see every day. Proximity. Adaptation. But you over here arguing with black men because when black men are talking shit about us, who gives a fuck about black men talking shit about you? IBMORs are talking about practical shit. Practical structural stuff. And after we finish talking about the practical structural stuff, we talk about reflecting upon our role in this stuff. What could we do better? That's where it turns into a rant. This is why I pity black women. And maybe, just maybe, I'll do a series. I'm here for the guys because I'm a man. And I want to contribute to the teaching of men. I don't see that on your side. And I'm just curious, why do you follow these fools? They obviously don't know what they're talking about. It's obvious that they don't know what they're talking about. You can disprove these fools in 5 seconds by doing your own research. At least my IBMORs will challenge me. I'll say that about them. They can sometimes be 2 foot wrong, but they will challenge me. If they feel that I'm wrong, they will challenge me. And we have to hash that out. I have to show them about why I'm trying to teach them what I'm trying to teach them. Y'all don't do that. You guys follow. I see 30,000 views in some of the dumbest shit that I've ever seen. And I don't understand it. The most non-intellectual, dumbest, emotional stuff that I've ever seen. And they can have 30, 40,000 views. And they will come over to us suggesting that we look at their videos. I mean, why the hell would anybody follow Japan? I don't get it. Brooklyn Blue says she's crazy, and you guys still follow her. I don't get it. How many IBMORs will follow me or even listen to me if I said I had mental conditions for most of my life? And you're praising these people like they're a revelation, like they're the foremost scholars in the world. I don't get it. But anyway, this is long. It's going to be a bitch to edit. So I'm going to close this out. This is just a stream of consciousness. And I'm not saying black women do better. What I'm saying is black women not only choose better, but at least understand why you make the choice. At least before you post something, especially something that's going to be derogatory, at least look at the video and say why you're opposing a particular video. You can't just oppose a video because of a title. You form opinions and you form a rant on something that's over a title or emotion. Because I put a picture and put a title underneath it, and all of a sudden that invokes an emotional outburst. How does that help you? That's the only thing I can't understand. How does it help you? Does it make you feel better? Is it going to help your life? No. And I wouldn't even mind if you branded on something that's emotional, but hell, half the channel, I would say the majority of the channel is about teaching and understanding. But I never see those women in those things. I see the same women show up over and over and over again about negative bullshit. But the structural stuff they never come back for. And I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Is this, is this a reality show for them? I don't get you guys. I pity you. And by extension, I pity the children because you're the ones that are going to have them. And then you're going to spill them out onto society. And then somebody else has to come in and clean them up, clean up the mess. And you don't even know why you don't even know why you keep doing it. And these are the conscious chicks. So imagine about the ratchet unconscious chicks. Imagine how bad off they are. Anyway, let me get off the mic. Let me step down from my soapbox and push it away because this could be a classic 2-hour rant, and I don't want to do that. And I don't think anybody wants to listen to it. So I'm going to close it out. This is BGS out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.